Hello, my dear class 7 students. Welcome back. I hope you are all well. So today we will complete this chapter 10, science, that is respiration in organism. So this will be the part 3, okay, the third part. Now we are doing like this, discussing about the respiration in other animals, right? So today we'll discuss about earthworm, okay, earthworm. Now, I'm sure you are familiar with the earthworm, right? Earthworm, like their skin, okay? They have a moist skin, okay? They have moist skin. They have a moist skin, and it is slimy or slippery, okay? So that's why they breathe. Respiration takes place through this skin, okay? So if you are asked about how earthworms like they breathe, how respiration takes place in earthworm, then you can say like through skin, okay? Why? Because they have a moist skin, it is slimy, it is slippery. Clear? Now, see, let's discuss about frog. Now, frog, though they have a pair of lungs like a human being, okay? Though they have a pair of lungs like a human being, even I'm sure you are familiar, okay, you have touched the frog, right? Now, even their skin is moist, it is slippery, right? It is slippery. That's why frogs can breathe, okay? Frogs can breathe even through their skin as well. Like, since they also have a pair of lungs like a human being, now respiration can take place in both ways, through lungs or from the skin. Clear? And the reason why they can breathe, why respiration takes place through the skin, the same reason goes for the frog like in earthworm, because they have a moist skin and it is slippery. Clear? Okay, now we are done with the respiration in other organisms. Now we will discuss about the aquatic life, okay? Now about the fish, okay? How respiration takes place inside in fish. Okay, so students, let's discuss how how respiration take place, how breathing take place in fish. Clear? Now, inside the water, okay? In water, air is dissolved, okay? Air is already dissolved inside the water, okay? Air is dissolved in water. Clear? Air is dissolved in water. Now, that's why fish, they are able to survive inside the water. Not only fish, there are other aquatic life. Clear? Now, they are able to survive inside the water. Clear? But okay, since air is there inside the water, even there might be a question, okay? There might be a question inside your mind, then why human being cannot survive inside the water? Clear? Now, our body is not designed like those fish. Clear? We don't have gills, right? We don't have gills. So we cannot survive inside the water. Clear? Now, just for movement, we just need like these 2 feet, right, for human beings. Now, our body is not designed like fish. We don't have gills, so we cannot survive inside the water. It needs a design. Clear? Now, discussing about the fish. Let's say this is a rough fish, okay? And this is the gills, okay? This is the gills. And fish, they breathe through their gills, okay? So this is the gills present here. Now let's discuss some details about the gills. Okay, this gills is a very important part of fish. Clear? Now this gills is well supplied. It is well supplied. It is well supplied with oxygen. Okay. It is well supplied with blood vessels, okay? It is well supplied with blood vessels. Why? because air is already dissolved, oxygen is already dissolved in water. So this is the reason why the exchange of gas take place. Okay, this is the reason why exchange of gas take place. Now, like I said, for human beings, it is not possible to survive inside the water, right? So I'm sure you have seen, like in a movie or in any National Geographic channel, right? Now, divers, if they go inside the water, they carry oxygen gas, right, along with them. So this is the main reason. So the point that you have to note down in this under this topic is you have to know that fish, they breathe through the gills, and you have to know an important points for these gills. Okay, these gills are the projection in the skin of the fish, and they are well supplied with blood vessels for the exchange of gas to take place. Okay, so I'm sure you are familiar with that. Okay, so now we are done with the respiration, like how breathing takes place in fish. The last point would be, we'll discuss about respiration in plants. Okay, plants. So now, students, this is the last topic for this chapter. And this is very important because this is about plants. Okay, we have discussed about animals, right? First, we started with human beings, then about the earthworm, cockroach, insects, about the fish, and now this is the last topic about the plants, how respiration takes place. Now, for plants, one thing you have to get familiar is that in the leaves, okay, in the leaves, there are pores present, okay, there are pores. Pores, in a simple word, it will be like holes, okay, it will be a small holes. And these small holes play a very important role because through these pores, okay, through these pores, the exchange of gas takes place. Clear? Like we take in the air through nose, right? So same as for plants, these pores, which is known as stomata, this is the reason, this is the main reason for the exchange of gas, like taking place in plants. Clear? Now, plants also, they take in oxygen and they release carbon dioxide. Clear? Now, what about the roots? Clear? Now, I'm sure you are familiar now, you are clear with how like the exchange of gas takes place in the leaves. Clear? In the leaves. But now let's discuss about the roots. Even the roots, they need air, okay? They need a supply of air. So now, in the roots, let's say this is a root here, okay? Let's say if this is a root here, clear? Root here. We have roots here. This is inside the soil, okay? Now, there will be a soil present, right? There will be a soil. Just you have to imagine, okay? Inside the earth surface, okay? In the soil, you'll find these roots, right? Deeply rooted inside. Now you'll see some soil particles, or not soil. You'll see soil, right? But at the same time, you will also see some gaps, okay? You'll see some gaps. So through these gaps, air enters inside. Clear? Air, these spaces are filled by air. Okay? So we have a root here, inside, okay, and then we have a soil particles, and through this air enters inside. Clear? Now that is how air enters inside the root. Clear? So this is all about this chapter. Clear? And there is a fact which is given in your textbook, okay, that is about a breathing exercise. Breathing exercise. So this breathing exercise, regular breathing exercise. Clear? Regular breathing I'll put it E, okay? Exercise. Regular breathing exercise, you have to practice this one. And this, it is known as pranayama. Okay, pranayama. P-R-A-N-A-Y. Pranayama. So this is regular breathing exercise. Why you have to practice this one? Because it increases the capacity of your lungs, okay? It increases the size of the lungs. And it's very important for the lungs, it is very important for air enters like inside the lungs, right? But if the capacity of the lungs is very small, then you will not get enough energy. Clear? You will not get enough energy. So that's why it is very important to do this exercise to increase the capacity of your lungs. Clear? Now, famous sports person or athlete and all, they usually practice this regular breathing exercise. You might not be aware, but every day they practice this one, just so that the capacity of the lungs gets increased, okay? Because they need energy. Clear? They need more energy. So I'm sure from now on you'll all practice this regular breathing exercise. Clear? So that comes to the end of this chapter. And now in your textbook, page 118, okay, there is a next column, okay, and that is very important, okay, because we have all the organisms like present there in the question. So that is how in exam you'll get a question, okay, you'll get a 5-mark questions. Now, see, we have already discussed about the yeast, okay. What is this yeast? This yeast is a microscopic organism. I'm repeating again, it is a microscopic organism. It is an organism which you cannot see with your naked eye, okay. So you have to, if you want to see this one, we have to take, we have to use the microscope. That's why it is known as a microscopic organism. Clear? And when I say yeast, it is a single cell organism, okay? One cell organism. And see, for them, they can survive without oxygen, okay? And without the oxygen, the food breaks down into alcohol, right? Alcohol. So for number A, you will choose the third one, okay? That is alcohol. Clear? Alcohol. And this is very important, you should keep in mind. And without this, there wouldn't be any beverage, okay? Like those wine and beer. Now, see, the second one. Now, this is very important. Diaphragm. This is what I have discussed in the last class. This is present in the floor of the chest cavity, right? Now, diaphragm is to do with the fourth one, okay? See, it is, here you have to know about the uses, okay? Uses and functions, and then you have to use your knowledge, you have to apply the knowledge. Clear? This is the chest cavity. Clear? Now, the third one is given skin. Now, the chapter that we have discussed is about respiration, right? Now, here it is about the skin. Now, human beings, we don't need like our skin for respiration, right? So, that is it an earthworm? Right? Because since earthworm has an oily skin, right? An oily skin, moist skin, slippery. So, this number C would be this one, okay? Skin would be earthworm. Now, you might get confused with the frog, okay? But frog, though it has a it has a moist skin. Frog, since it has also a lungs, okay? It has a pair of lungs like a human being. So the skin, this one, the right answer would be earthworm. Clear? Okay. Now next is leaves, okay? Now see, in the leaves, see, it has nothing to do with earthworm, gills, alcohol, lungs and skin or trachea, right? So leaf means stomata, okay? Stomata, like I have said, it is the small pores present in the leaf. Clear? Now the next is fish. Fish, they breathe through gills, right? So we have these gills over here. Clear? So fish, number 2, gills. Clear? Now students, the last one is frog. Okay, frog. And we have only 2 options left. That is lungs and skin and trachea. Okay, so now this trachea is to do with cockroach and insects. Clear? Insects, they have a network of air tubes, right? Network of air tubes that is called as trachea. That means this is the wrong answer, right? So what is left? We are left only with this lungs and skin, and that is to do with frogs, right? Because since frogs, they have lungs, they can also breathe like through their lungs, as well as since they have moist skin, they can also breathe through their respiration take place through skin. Okay, so now see, don't get confused between these earthworm and frog. Earthworm can breathe only through their skin, but frogs, they have two options. That is, one is through the lungs and one is through the skin. Okay. Okay, so students, that comes to the end of this chapter. Okay, that comes to the end of this chapter. So whatever points that you have noted down in these classes, please go through it. Clear? Okay, so in the next class, we are going to start motion and time. Okay, motion and time. So I'll give you a brief introduction. I'll give you a brief introduction so that in next class, when we discuss this chapter in details, certain word you will be familiar. Okay, so students, in the next class, we'll study this chapter 13, motion and time in details. Okay, and this chapter is very interesting. And in this chapter, you'll also have numerical questions. Clear? So today, I'll give you a brief introduction about this chapter, okay? So that you'll get familiar with the important topics. Now, in this chapter, we'll discuss about different type of motion, okay? We'll discuss about like motions like linear motion. Linear motion, clear? We'll discuss about the circular motion. Now, we'll discuss about periodic motion. Clear? We'll also discuss about uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Now, what is this motion? Okay, what is this motion? Now, see, I'm not in motion because I'm not changing my position. Okay, now see, time and time waits for none. Clear? Time and time waits for none. So now, with respect to the time, I'm just at the same position. So now I'm at rest. Clear? I'm at rest. But now suppose, see, let's say I'm at point A. Clear? And now, with respect to time, I'm now at point B. So I have changed my position with respect to the time, right? Then it is known as motion. Okay? So if I'm changing my position with respect to time, it is defined as motion. Clear? Now, see, we have different types of motion, and one such type is linear motion. Okay? And linear motion means motion in a straight line. Clear? Motion in a straight line. Have you seen a car? Okay, if suppose this is a car, and if we have a bridge, okay, if we have an iron bridge that is very straight, okay, and then here only there is a way for only one car, okay, only one car can pass through this bridge. Then this car would move in straight way, right? So this can be an example of a linear motion. Clear? Now, a circular motion. Circular motion, let's say a merry-go-round. Are you familiar? Right. Now, a periodic motion. A periodic motion, it will be to and from motion. Okay, we can take example of a pendulum, a simple pendulum. Okay, simple pendulum. To and from motion of a simple pendulum. Now, we also have a uniform motion and non-uniform motion. Okay, if we are covering equal distance, okay, equal distance in equal interval of time, then that is uniform motion. Equal distance, equal time. Clear? Now, if we are covering unequal distance in equal interval of time, then that will fall under a non-uniform motion. Clear? So with examples, with more examples, we will continue, we'll discuss about all these motion, different type of motion in the next class. So now, please note down this or whatever like points we have written down in the introduction part for this new chapter that we're going to discuss, that is motion and time. Clear? So thank you so much, students. I'll see you in the next class.